Hi friends, today in this video we are talking about the life and works of Khuswant Singh. Khuswant Singh was India's best Indo-Anglian writer. Khuswant Singh started writing from the year 1956. He was born in the year 1915. According to his father, he was born on 2nd February 1915, but his grandmother told him that he was born in the month of August. So Khuswant Singh actually declared that he was born on 15th August 1915 in Punjab. His father was Sir Sobha Singh, who was a builder, and his mother was Biren Bai. Khuswant Singh was a very famous writer, but before becoming a writer, he practiced law for many years. Actually, he once described what it takes to be a writer or what it makes to be a writer. Sometimes, he says, you will sit for hours staring at a blank sheet of paper. You will have to have the determination not to get up till the sheet is filled with writing. So he describes how difficult it is to become a writer. Singh was basically an agnostic person. He did not believe in religion. He said that a person without religion can be a nice person, or a person believing in one or the other religion could be despicable. So that's why he said that there is no God. And he did not believe in life after death. So according to him, the concept that death is final is correct. There are many famous works of Khuswant Singh. One of them is A Train to Pakistan, which was written in the year 1956. And he then wrote Why I Supported Emergency, Delhi, a novel, I Shall Not Hear the Nightingale, which was published in the year 1959. The Portrait of a Lady is a story written by him about his Dadima. And he was also a great historian. So his famous work, The Maharaja Ranjit Singh and Fall of Sikh Kingdom, is about the Sikh kings. And he also wrote a history of Sikhs in the year 1963. His famous journalistic works include Sex, Scotch and Scholarship and In the Company of Women, which was published in the year 1999. He was active all his life as a writer. He lived a very long life and he died in the month of March 2014. At the age of 98, he contributed again to English writing by his essay, The Good, the Bad and the Ridiculous. Khuswant Singh went to modern school in Delhi. Then he went to St. Stephen's College in Delhi. And he also went to King's College in London, where he studied law. He worked as a lawyer for several years, but the work did not give him satisfaction. So he worked in the Department of Mass Communications of UNESCO in Paris. Journalism and writing gave him immense satisfaction. So from 1956 onwards, he started concentrating fully on writing. He became editor of the Illustrated Weekly of India, the National Herald, the Hindustan Times, and he also edited one Indian government journal, Yojana. During his tenure as editor of the Illustrated Weekly, the circulation of the Illustrated Weekly rose from 60,000 to 4 lakh. He was also a great columnist, and he supported many budding authors and authors through his columns. His English was quite lucid, and there was great flow in his writing. Though an Indian writer, he wrote like an Englishman. Today I am going to talk about his famous novel, A Train to Pakistan, which was written in the year 1956 and which is about partition. When India got independence in the year 1947, it also got divided into two countries, one Muslim country, Pakistan, and the other, Hindustan. So the country uh, called Pakistan was uh, created on the basis of the majority Muslims, Muslims who lived in that particular area. Muhammad Jinnah, who was a separatist who wanted a separate nation for the Muslims, was responsible for the division of India into two countries, India and Pakistan. The nationalist leaders like Nehru also wanted freedom from British colonial rule. So the English, who believed in the policies of divide and rule, found it an opportune moment to divide India on the basis of religion. What I want to say here is that the ordinary people of India who actually believed in unity in diversity. They believed to live harmoniously. Though they practiced different religions, there was no clash amongst them. Whatever a small animosity which was seen amongst the Muslims and Hindus was badly exploited by these selfish leaders, the national leaders who wanted a British freedom from British colonial rule, and the separatist leaders like Jinnah. So the partition is the outcome of the manipulations of the British, the nationalist leaders, and the separatists like the Jinnah. So this Train to Pakistan is a novel which very beautifully describes, very vividly captures the times of the country when the country underwent this division, this partition. This partition brought in its wake a lot of pain, anguish, separation. People didn't want to go from one place to another, but they were forced to fly. So thousands of people were in flight during partition who tried to cross the borders for a better future. But in course of their flight, they were captured, killed, and it is said that around 70,000 women were raped during this partition. So what a horrendous, what horrifying picture one could imagine about this particular partition. This partition brought tears, separation from loved ones, and lot of pain and anguish. Killing, rape, dacoity, arson are other horrifying acts which were actually perpetuated during partition. A Train to Pakistan is one such novel where this partition has been very beautifully captured. The ordinary people wanted to live in peace, and there were some villages in India and Pakistan where this horrifying impact of partition had not reached. One of the such villages was Manu Mazra. Manu Mazra was a small village in Punjab where people lived in harmony. There was around 70 families in Manu Mazra village. There was one Hindu family of Lala Ramlal, and 50% of the population of Manu Mazra was dominated by the Sikhs, who were also the land owners, and 50% of the population was that of the Muslims, who were the tenants on this land, but they lived happily and harmoniously together. This novel begins with the description of unusual weather. It is the month of August, and in this month of August, the weather is very unusual, hot and humid. The situation is tense, and in such situation, the news of partition comes to the villagers of Manu Mazra, but they have nothing to do with the politics. They have nothing to do with the partition. They wanted to know what actually this partition will bring to them. Will it bring more land and buffaloes to them? one of the characters uh, tells in this novel, Manumazra village, that there will not be much change. Earlier it was the Britishers who ruled us. Now it is the educated Indians who would rule us. So that is what they are bothered about. They are not bothered about anything else. So if nature or weather plays a significant symbolic role in this small tiny village Manu Mazra in this novel A Train to Pakistan, there is another symbol, the symbol of train. So the people of Manumazra live in consonance with the trains coming and going to this small tiny village, Manumazra. So when morning train comes, the driver blasts two whistles, which actually uh, awakes the village. The village is awakened by the blast of the whistles of the driver taking the train through this Manu Madra village. So the Muslims now come to know that it is the time for their prayers, and the other people come to know that it is the time to go to the fields. So the life runs in parallel with the coming and going of the trains, and life is very dull, peaceful, and happy there before partition. Train again plays a vital role after partition. A train comes to Manumazra full of dead bodies of the Hindus and the Sikhs. When this train arrives in Manumazra, the simple, quiet life of people in Manumazra is disturbed. Everybody wants to know about what happened. So when the dead bodies are burnt here, actually the situation in Manumazra turns very uneasy. Now the Sikhs in the Manumazra village want revenge on the people, the Muslims living there in Manumazra. So, but still they are not after their blood. They are not that thirsty. People still want peace and happiness. So they decide that the Muslims of the village must go and take shelter in the refugee camp. So through this story, through this novel, A Train to Pakistan, Khuswant Singh's endeavor is to tell us that how India wanted peace, how people of India wanted love, harmony, and unity, even when they practiced different religions. So this was all the working of the political people and the British which brought partition to this country. Many other novelists have tried to write on partition, but it is A Train to Pakistan by Khuswant Singh which depicts the horror, which depicts the anguish, the hatred, the kind of uh, disturbance that brought to the otherwise quiet life of the Indians. So a very good attempt by Khuswant Singh on the partition of this country. The language is very much gripping. The story runs fast and it keeps you totally engrossed. So one of the great characteristics of Khuswant Singh is that he keeps you 100% engaged. He keeps you totally engrossed in his work. You can't stop reading it in the middle. You have, once you start reading his works, you have to read it from the first page to the last page. This is the ability of Khuswant Singh. Khuswant Singh keeps you busy throughout. This is how the novel goes. A very beautiful novel. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you.